remain standing for Switzerland national anthem.
Welcome back to our coverage of the 2019 Women's European Lacrosse Championship. Our final game of this Saturday features Latvia taking on Switzerland. The Latvians in their familiar maroon on maroon colors, white on white for the Swiss with red trim. I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, joined by Steffi Samaras, and we have a special night tonight. We welcome those of you watching at Pieci Vilki, the bar owned by two of the players from Latvia, including their starting goalie, Liga Vilka and Yeva Vilka. We say hello to you watching on this late night. The Swiss and the Latvians getting ready to go. Latvia losing a tough one yesterday to Norway, 9-7. So they come in at 1-2. The final game of pool play for both. And for the Swiss, they also come in with a record of 1-2. As Salome Baumberger comes up with the first draw control behind Vilki. And we are ready to play. Both teams 1-2. And we get this one going late into the night. Temperatures have cooled down. And back behind the handle for Andres, along with An Lee here on the wing. A long day of waiting. This morning, Steffi, Swiss head coach Julie Duffy actually had them put together a scrimmage against Finland. So it has been an eternity of a day for the Swiss. So we'll see how they respond to that. As here comes Rachel Lazda with the clear for the Latvians.
You know, I'm really excited to see the Swiss, I say bounce back, and I don't know if that's necessarily the word for them, but we've talked about Berger being a big aspect to this Swiss team and hopefully getting her back on her mark as she can really affect the outcome of the performance of the Swiss. Not necessarily the outcome of the game, but the outcome of the performance, because it seems like a lot of the girls feed off of her as a midfielder for the Swiss.
Yeah, she had a terrific first game for the Swiss against the Netherlands, who has one of the top midfields around, and Berger was able to match that. And here are the Latvians with their first possession. And out wide, Elena Tobura. And the Latvians known their strength ahead of the tournament. Head coach Gretchen Lazda now resides in Colorado, but a native of Central New York and West Genesee High School, which is a U.S. power, not even just in New York, and well-schooled, and now helping their Latvian roots. Sweep across now for the Latvians. Laia Pina, the shot, the save made by Luisa Moser, and then the follow-up is batted in. Out of the air, Laura Liapina gets the first goal for the Latvians.
Great job with that almost second chance shot there as the ball bounced right back out to the shooter for Latvia, and she was able to finish.
So Laura Liapina starts the scoring, first possession for the Latvians. They were disappointed in their effort yesterday against Norway, where Norway just played a little bit cleaner. And the Latvians stuffed several times in front. For Liapina, that is her third goal of this tournament. Berger approaching the draw control, along with Estere Urbanchika. And she with Valeria Druziaka are the top midfielders for the Latvians. And here is Druziaka, who seemingly does not have an off switch. She has 6 goals to pace the Latvians. And settled back behind, Swiss starting goalie Luisa Moser.
So Greece was really lucky to scrimmage Latvia the other day. We got to do some half-field scrimmaging because of practice scheduling. But it was so much fun it was the one team in this actual European Championships that we were able to play against, since we were a festival team, and their hospitality, even though we were in Israel, was just so welcoming to girls from Greece, especially who have never actually played real international competition until this past week.
And the Latvians there at a building stage. You can see that there are some real fine athletes here that have been converted from other sports such as basketball. And a team that has built up enough domestically that they don't have to necessarily rely on U.S. players. This is a pass intended for On Lee. Lee for the Swiss will gather it. And back behind for Anouk Andres. Evelyn Eicher and Deborah Shore also starting an attack with Lee, Bomberger, and Berger running this first midfield for the Swiss under head coach Julie Duffy, coming off of a great season at Merrimack College in the States. The team will move up to Division I next year and play in the Northeast Conference. They just won the Northeast 10 Conference Championship. That's the top Division II league in the country, knocking off eventual national champion Adelphi. Feed inside Lee, and out to challenge the angle, Liga Vilka making the save.
Great save by Vilka. And if you watch that back, the step out that she makes to cut down the angle on the Swiss shot is amazing. I'm really interested to see the patience that the Swiss attack has and what they're trying to work up on the corner of the 11-meter. They're really wanting to run their offense from behind right now.
There's a cut, and Bomberger clanged that off the post. Salome Bomberger had the look.
Salome Bomberger, that's a great look on the cage, and the natural lefty does so much for the Swiss in the attack. I'd love to see her take a little bit more control as the quarterback from up top. But it seems like Coach Duffy really wants things to be run from behind right now. And maybe this is, again, another tactic that Coach is using.
And now Andres takes a jumping shot. She does have backup Lee. Or rather, that is Stephanie Berger. I beg your pardon, that she will come out in front. And it had knocked away. Druziaka met her near the post, and she's the one that commits the foul. Stephanie Berger had a sensational opening game against the Netherlands, running against that midfield. They're looking for her to come out well today. Salome Bomberger had the bounce-back game last game against Italy. So the Swiss looking to put together a full effort, 4 quarters. Vilka, she'll make the save. Another quick stick shot in tight. And the Latvians with the ball and a 1-0 lead.
And Vilka just, again, the step you can make as a goalie to decrease the angle of the shot is so important to the defensive aspect of any unit. And the angle that the Latvian defender had the Swiss attacker take on that shot, so poor, but still the step so important by the goalkeeper. Now, question for you, Ralph, because you've gotten to see Latvia play more than I have. Druziaka, is she the intangible aspect player for this Latvian team?
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily she is, because she is such a dynamite dodger and scorer. That's not quite her role on this team. I'm not sure if Latvia has had that player emerge. Also Urbanchika, but Urbanchika is such a big part of their offense too. For someone that's doing the dirty work between the lines, I'm not sure if someone has yet established themselves as that transition player. Yet for the Latvians, as here is Yeva Vilka, who's going to start the clear. And she is the younger sister of the goalie Liga. 2 of the 3 Vilka sisters. There's also Una, and she right now, I believe, is just a basketball player until her sisters convince so.
That's going to change.
She might be working at the bar tonight.
Una, pick up a stick.
Yeah. So they should be enjoying this one. Yeva Vilka walks in for the clear. And the Latvians, as Gretchen Lasda, felt that they did not play well against Norway and struggled to finish. Finished up 9-7. Hoping for just better movement today offensively, off-ball movement, more assisted goals as they hope to evolve to that next level.
You know, interestingly enough, in our practice with Latvia, that was something that Coach Lasda was really working on. Actually, the 2-man game and the 3-man game for their attackers, and how they can open up space for each other, and then the teammate cutting for the ball can then enter that space and have it be very clear.
A cut there into the 8-meter. But weaving back is Eugenia Macievica, and Latvia has another goal. Off the sweep, Eugenia Macievica. A cop outside of Riga makes it 2-0.
Yeah, and she does a great job because coming from behind cage, she is, I don't necessarily view her as their quarterback, but what she did very specifically on that play was attack one side of the crease, and she got her defender to bite on that side, and then she quickly re-attacked the weak side and was able to take it. And a great finish low.
Macievica picks up her first goal of the Euros. Unassisted. Draw control belongs to the Latvians. Not the start that the Swiss wanted. Macievica has a cut through Xhaka, and she hits the crossbar. A little quick stick. That would have been an assisted tally. Possession belongs to the Swiss. The Swiss will need to clear through Louisa Moser as she fires it forward. And a chance for Hannah Broker to push forward. Broker, who's the main draw control specialist for the Swiss, as she heads forward. The Swiss have had some good looks. And Coach Julie Duffy feels that they've made some steps. It's a little bit of a different kind of a Latvia team that you're playing. You're constantly adjusting day to day the style of offense, the style of play you're going. What a challenge it is in tournament play. Andres, and she's chased by Yeva Vilka, and back outside to Eicher.
You know, I think one of the biggest impacts that Coach Duffy wants to have on this Swiss team is, amazing interception.
Liga Vilka, and that is the first interception we have seen that a goalie has made on a pass to goal line extended.
100% correct, and unfortunately with the errant pass out of bounds, so Swiss will recover that ball. But one thing Coach Duffy wants to try to instill in this team, and we saw it in their last clear, a lot of her players, when they get the ball in transition, are so fearful of losing possession of the ball that they would rather carry it than move the ball down the field. And as you and I both pointed out, Swiss had two options in transition and neither were used.
Vilka, I think, fought off the shot there by Broker. Recovered back behind Andres.
And I think that is next level for Swiss. We talk about the things that, what does the coach focus on first, second, third, and so forth. And I don't know if that's something that's been quite as developed by the Swiss yet, and is something that they can focus on along with their ride.
Oh, Andres. Placement was there on the shot to get the Swiss on the board, 2-1.
And the spin by Andres, you know, that move is something of a question mark that we call, and we're not questioning the move. It's literally the motion that she's taking around the crease is that of a question mark. Normally, you give yourself a little bit more of an angle, and you know, if you were a men's lacrosse player, you'd probably jump up in the air and spin, which is why it's called the question mark. But just a great finish, and that type of spin is what hides the ball from the goalkeeper.
Broker with Druzjaka off the circle. And then Broker knocked down. Druzjaka, so aggressive. Her life motto, go hard or go harder, or something to that effect. I'll have to check it. Urbanchika. Final minute, first quarter. But she certainly plays and embodies that motto. Urbanchika outside. 2-1 Latvia. So short time and a chance for the Latvians to hold for the final look and execute. And a pass skipped to the wide side. Nicole Petroviskis come on for the first time, 17 in red. She's the head coach of Maine South High School in Illinois, a former club player at the University of Minnesota. With a couple of the U.S. ties here on this Latvian team that is otherwise domestic. Valeria Druziaka on the approach, and she hit Moser, who is fired up after the save. Is that enough? Final seconds.
And that's a body save by the Swiss goalie, and you can tell that by the type of bounce that it took off of her body.
Druziaka on the feed. Ten seconds remaining in the first quarter. Petroviskis. Petroviskis has Druziaka right in front of her. Petroviskis staring at that, but of course a lot of movement with everybody anticipating that. And some very happy feet waiting for the whistle. Druziaka. Left-hand shot, and the collapsing defense there. Broker got there to wipe out the shot, and Druziaka felt the brunt of that hit. Broker is a strong and powerful athlete.
You know, I think in most cases, with the collection of the ball with Druziaka's right hand and then a quick release, that's probably something that she'd probably want to work on for the next time.
Valeria took a hit somewhere around the facial region. And she is such an aggressive player. Latvia will hope to get her back out there as soon as they can. Valeria Druziaka, 6 goals to pace the Latvians. As she plays relentlessly. That life motto, as I said, is go hard or go harder.
Oh, I like that.
Yep.
Normally it's go hard or go home. I like the go hard or go harder.
That sounds like a t-shirt. We hope Valeria will be okay. So instead, it's a free position for her teammate, and the save is made on Moser. The stop made on Matievica. Switzerland fired up. Luisa Moser, a couple of big saves in the final sequence. But at the end of one, Latvia 2, Switzerland 1. We're back to our continuing coverage of the European Women's Lacrosse Championship from Netanya. 2-1 Latvia with the lead. Start of the second quarter. And a draw control collected by Yeva Opolska. Latvia will pick up the clear, and we'll be looking out for the return of Valeria Druziaka. Looks like she left the game with an apparent facial injury, and she is not out here, at least of this first possession of the second quarter. So Liapina shoots, and there's Moser able to see it. Well, Julie Duffy was encouraged. Louisa Moser has spent extra time facing shots, even with these busy schedules, just looking for a little bit more consistency in her in this tournament.
And, you know, she's probably one of the spark plugs of this team, as you can see the reaction from the Swiss bench when she makes a save, and the quick transition from Berger. And I want to see her push that envelope. I want to see her see what she can do. Because I think, you know, every coach knows you go until somebody stops you. And I want to see Berger test that limit.
Andres, and Berger, a swing and a miss. And then she's forced off the possession, a good call by the official. Well, we're seeing a little bit more spring in the step today of Stephanie Berger. Julie Duffy had a premonition about this.
That's amazing. And normally, we've seen this a bunch of times today. If she were to catch that ball, that's a goal.
Instead, Anouk Andres was looking for the question mark move, but got caught a touch too deep. So Vilka from goal, and now the Latvians look for the clear. The Swiss have also put together an effective zone ride, particularly in their last game against Italy. Urbanchika, the clear. Then darting through the middle, Opolska, and Moser handles an easy shot.
That's 4 saves by Moser to end the quarter.
Here's Jacinta Idabelli, and she turns it over, running it into traffic. Idabelli, another energy player for the Swiss.
Yeah, she can be a game changer for them defensively. We saw it a few nights ago, and she has been a little sporadic the past couple of games. But I know in speaking with Coach Duffy, actually literally just before the game started, I asked her about number 18 as well as Berger, and she said they're ready to go.
A ground ball. Berger will leave it here in the crease for Moser. And the Swiss are consistently running 2 midfield lines through this tournament. They're one of the few nations that has been doing that. Baumberger on an overpass. And the Swiss will end up with a clear. We'll see. It's an interesting experiment, Steffi, how the teams that run 2 midfields, now England aside, but the teams that ran more midfielders, what Wednesday and Thursday is going to look like in terms of play and sharpness. That's something I think you and I will discuss both on and off the air.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue that those teams will face are heavy legs. So recovery, and depending on the type of recovery, you know, a lot of times at events like this, you see ice baths, a lot of water recovery, and lactic acid plays a huge role. And clearly the importance of stretching with, you know, one of my go-tos is chocolate milk, I won't lie, because of how it helps your muscles recover from a game, a daily 8 games in 10 days. I mean, that's unheard of in so many other aspects. You think of other types of World Cups, and you have a game and you have 2 or 3 days off, and then you have a game and then you have 2 or 3 days off. What we're asking of these girls over a 10-day span is somewhat...
it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. Opolska. And
That's a charge. That is a charge.
I thought the call to foul may be off-ball interference. Let's see who they set back. The call was made from midfield, and indeed the player that they're setting back is a Polsko, so that's my translation of it as Stephanie Berger gets it ahead. Eicher, the clear for the Swiss. They've gotten a goal from Anouk Andres to get within one. Broker will decide to keep it. Broker scoring 4 goals against Italy in her best performance.
And back on the ball.
Oh, and here comes a no question yellow, and by accident, unfortunately, Janine Reichener just took a dangerous stick to the face. So we've had 2 players that exit. Yellow assessed on Agrita Ose of Latvia. And Reichener, Julie Duffy likes as someone that connects us. A very good player between the lines with speed that can create transition. Plays on the second midfield. Bomberger, and she missed the look.
I want Bomberger to shoot more. I want her to, she should be taking 10 to 15 shots a game for the Swiss. That's how important of a player she is for this team.
Room for Julia Marti. Drop off, and then as Eicher looked for a better angle, Evelyn Eicher will put herself to the 8-meter or the 11-meter, according to FIL terminology, but it is from the same spot. Just based on where you measure it from, inside or the goal line or outside the crease. Eicher fires. Vilka, easy save. However, the whistle is going to take that save away. They will call a foul on Rachel Lazda of Latvia. And Eicher will now have even more room to consider her left hand.
Yeah, that's a lot of space on her left side. She can sweep across the cage.
Eicher with that thought, and then looked for the shot off stick side and low. Rachel Lazda with the clearance. And the drop off. Urbanchika will look to deal it back. The Lazdas welcoming Mother Lazda here to watch their game yesterday. Several other visitors here for the weekend for the Latvians, including backup goalie Linda Nutere, both mom and grandma. Mom was born in Latvia. Grandma still lives in Latvia. So they are here to support their daughter and granddaughter through this amazing opportunity to represent her country. Transition ahead. And a loose ball and an opportunity for the Latvians, but it's just off the side of netting. Maciavica just could not corral it and keep the possession.
You know, that was a perfect opportunity for Latvia. And the biggest difference, and this is just the youth of their players, they need to move to the ball to collect it. It's really hard to keep your shoulders turned downfield when the ball is behind you. Opening up to the ball and actually going to collect it, although it might stop the fast break, this is where coaches say, I would rather have possession of the ball to take the good shot than sometimes push the fast break.
Julia Marti, solid game yesterday against Italy. Draws and dumps. Eicher. And racing ahead, guess who's back? Valeria Druzjaka. As she pushes forward, quick shot. Oh, what a finish! Ewa Opolska. Druziaka just back in the game, and her impact is immediately felt. And Opolska with a terrific shot while falling away.
Opolska had a great finish, and you know, I just mentioned her shoulders and her stick, because of the angle she had on the cage as she was progressing downfield, were already open to Druziaka in that fast break situation.
I've heard you say you want to be ready to shoot before the ball is even there, and that's what it appeared Opolska had. She knew exactly where the ball was going before it was in flight from Druziaka.
And putting your body in the correct positioning to be able to collect the ball and then make the decision on your shot because your body's in the best positioning. A lot of women's lacrosse players neglect that small thing, and it can be the biggest difference maker. I mean, Megan Whittle is never going to not have her body in the right position. She doesn't know how not to.
And those subtleties that are built over a lifetime in this sport, but a sensational opportunity for all these players from developing nations to watch some of the greats of other countries and see those things that maybe videotape streaming games doesn't show you. As there's Rachel Lasda tackled by Jacinta Idebeli. Lasda will be outside the 8-meter. Passing options. She'll take it to cage, though. Rachel Lasda. It is 4-1 Latvia. Rachel Lasda already with a third of this tournament for a starting defender.
Rachel Lasda she's just got some spunk. And knowing her sister as well as I do, Coach Lasda, it's really fun to see her play on the field. She can get so much stuff done because of her experience. And you know, this is where people take experience for granted sometimes. And you see some youth that work so hard, and you see some experienced players who almost conserve so well. And you want the working hard for the experienced players and the conservation for the better players.
On Lee just came up with a draw control and a yellow card. Assessed the second yellow here against Latvia. It is Opolska that heads off. So the 6-on-5 begins. Stephanie Berger. Look at her explode through, shooting low. Vilka made the save. Best move in a day or so that Berger's made, gliding through the defense. And also on for the first time is a young member of this Swiss team and had only made or had been assigned to the team, elevated by Coach Julie Duffy in Özlem Kuz. It was a feeder from behind at 6'1". This is Broker. 4-1 Latvia. Broker fires and the shot was blocked. What defense there. And that is younger sister Ewa Vilka that knocked down the shot. Very rare you see a free position of that force not make it through.
One thing I love about Ewa Vilka, especially as a defender in this clear, look at her presence with the ball. She's got her head up, her shoulders back, and she takes on two, and it's almost just really easy for her. Look at her patience. Her head is constantly up. That is just so rare.
Final minute, and the Swiss trying to apply pressure, but the Latvians under no hurry. Now they come after Yeva Vilka. Urbanchika with the space having been opened up.
I just love that patience and the presence that you can have from defenders like that. It just shows that the right thing is happening.
Urbanchika will hold it. Still just 24 years old. She is among the most experience among the Latvians as Urbanchika is tackled, with running being her main passion. Says she loves the hustle of lacrosse. A former runner within the Latvian national track program, running the 800 meters during her teenage years. Latvia a chance to put a cherry on top of this first half, leading 4-1. The isolation for Urbanchika, blows by the defender, and then hits the shot before the slide can arrive. Urbanchika fired up, and Latvia about to finish off an outstanding first half.
You know, Latvia is just coming out of nowhere, and I don't know if you heard, Ralph, but it sounded like the ball hit it sounded like the ball hit off of almost somebody's thigh, but I think where she actually hit the ball in the back of the net was actually the direct back of the net where it all gathers in the back. And that, I actually didn't see it go in because it was that powerful.
Defender Jacinta Idebelli was about to get there, and perhaps Louisa Moser was screened. Draw control, 10 seconds left. Deb Shorno. Shorno, a drop off Eicher. The Swiss need a look. They do. Vilka makes one more save, but the Latvians put a stamp on a solid first half. 5-1 for the Latvians, and looking to even up their record at 2-2 before getting the day off tomorrow ahead of knockout round play starting on Monday. We take a timeout for 15 minutes, and then we'll bring you the final half of this long day of lacrosse from the Women's European Lacrosse Championship. We start the third quarter, and it's Latvia leading Switzerland 5-1. Here's Esteria Urbancica charging to cage right on the opening draw. She's got the last two, and the Latvians come out with energy. 6-1. Just moments ago, Switzerland will need to regroup for this second half, Steffi Samaras, as Janine Reichener took a hard slash to the facial region during a Latvian yellow card. Happened, I think, early in the second quarter. Reichener immediately went to the bench, and the chief medical officer here deemed a visit to the hospital was necessary. Fortunately, the ambulance got here super quick, but something else that the Swiss will have to deal with as they worry about Janine Reichener and hope that she's okay after the medical professionals do their job and see if there's any further damage.
Yeah, and Reichener is a big part of this Swiss team and in both ends of the field. So, you know, for as much as we want her to be okay and safe, this is a potential time for somebody else to step up for the Swiss and potentially claim a new role.
Ground ball was picked up by Laura Liapina. She picked up the first goal. We're 90 seconds into the third quarter. Tsabura and Alina Tsabura circles. And the Latvians have been able to find goals through their great dodging. Anouk Andres has the lone goal for the Swiss. Louisa Moser had a series of good saves in the first half, and the Swiss may need a lot more as we'll play late into the night, the sixth and final game of this long Saturday. 5 more games on Sunday, the final day of pool play before the knockout round begins on Monday. Rachel Lazda will get a midfield run. Valerie Druziaka. And as the coaching staff shouts some things to her, she has to get a little closer to the restraining line to hear. But she'll initiate against Stephanie Berger.
Stephanie Berger's shown some fun flair on that defensive side. Actually, the Swiss defense as a whole looks to be having a lot of fun.
They just haven't been able to prevent that last dodge a couple times. Druziaka re-dodges, circles, and finishes, even changing up the shot. Just wonderful. So Druziaka makes it 7-1. That's her first of the game to go along with an assist. Timeout here by the Swiss. 2 quick goals and both dodges by the top midfielders the Latvians have. Urbancica and Druziaka making it 7-1 with a timeout on the field. 7-1. Latvia, they've come out with a couple of quick goals on dodges to the front of the cage. Julie Duffy, head coach of the Swiss, calling a timeout. And Urbanchika comes up with another ground ball, this time well off the circle. As she shows composure and she deals it back there to Lasda. And the foul on Shorno of the Swiss.
You use the word composure, and I think that's a really important word right now for not only this Latvian team, but as well as the Swiss team. How much composure can you show? There's been some dramatic things that have happened. Swiss are feeling the pressure as one of their better players is taking a hit to the cage. Excuse me, a hit to the head.
There's an offensive charge against Rachel Lasda.
We don't see many of those here. And I do think, in having a long conversation with official Stephen Taylor earlier, we talked about space, especially that offensive charge and trying to get the defender to move, but the defender holding their space. I think that was a good call by the officials.
Anouk Andres leaves it here for Julia Marty. So the Swiss trailing 7-1. And Eicher is behind. The Swiss had some good looks when the game was in the first quarter. Andres, she continues, and she scores. And the Swiss erupt. It's been a tough last 15-20 minutes for them as Janine Reichener suffered some kind of injury on that hard slash, but Andres is able to come up with her second.
That could be a potential huge momentum shift for the Swiss, and I hope they can take advantage of it, especially on this draw.
New goalie in for this third quarter. It's 16-year-old Linda Nutere. Goes by Linda Nutter in the United States. She's from Rochester, New York. And Linda will have a chance to play in front of her mom and grandma in the European Championships, and she has shown tremendous potential. Stephanie Berger. And Berger with a pat to cage as she races in. Has the shooting space. Missed the look. Well, Steffi, as the midfielder is moving so fast, when you know you have the flag out, but then the idea of fading away on the shot, that maybe takes you off of a free position because the official deems that your shot was not affected enough.
So it's interesting. I would have wanted my teammates, if I were Berger in that position, I would have wanted my teammates to scream, flag! So I don't take that shot and I keep the good hash. Because of where the foul happened, she probably would have been in the center, if not one of the hashes to the left or the right of the center. And for Stephanie Berger on one of those hashes, it's good as gold.
A small nuance of the game. Nutere dropped it off. Yeva Vilka.
I think that was a big smile on Yeva Vilka's face. Maybe she's just having fun out here.
She should be the bar. Dieci Vilki is probably having a really good time tonight. I wonder if drinks are double or 2.5 times the price.
Definitely.
Latvia's winning. She has a lot to smile about.
Exactly. Especially since Sister Una is going to pick up a lacrosse stick.
That's her homework assignment. She's the youngest of the three. And the Latvians here now to settle some more 6-on-6. And as Zhenya Matievica tried to curl cut, she scored like that earlier, the second goal of the game. She'll be put back to the 8-meter. So Matievica fires, quick snap of the wrist, and she misses the corner she was shooting at, but Latvia has backup. Also, Laura Baltmane will get a run here on the offensive end. 7 here in maroon. Liapina met by Lila Haller.
I love the work that the Latvian attackers are doing on these 2 elbows of the 11-meter. One thing I'd love them to add to this is the quarterbacking from behind or up top.
Druziaka, Moser the save. Flag was out, but Druziaka, so strong, was able to shoot through it as Moser tried to outlet down the middle of the field. Broker on the scoop. And Broker is fouled. Still 5:40 and counting of this third quarter. 15-minute continuous clocks of each period except for the final 30 seconds, where on every whistle the clock stops, as well as any coach called timeout or any water break. We won't have any water breaks for these late night games. So Broker will step into the box. And the pass is away from Eicher. Druziaka, again, all over the field. When she exited, you could just feel how different Latvia was.
Exactly, and that is a game changer. And, you know, Druziaka is becoming that person for Latvia. She might not be there yet because of her offensive prowess, but I'm seeing some game-changing stuff happening in the defensive end for her.
Urbanchika handles. Matijevica behind. Latvia at 7-2. Latvia, the smallest nation out of the 16 that is represented here, which also puts into perspective the smaller pool of players that they have. Under 2 million total people. And by far the smallest nation. The next ones are in the 3 and change, such as Wales. But they have made substantial strides when you look at the other Baltic states. Poland was not able to collect the financing necessary. Belgium, another established program, that wasn't able to do so. And then neighboring states of the ex-Soviet bloc, such as Estonia, Lithuania, not there yet. And just in the beginning stages. And certainly the Latvians, they're going to be the pioneers for those programs. Ukraine as well. Belarus, other nations. Russia still does not have a team yet. Switzerland coming up with a ground ball.
And we were chatting earlier about Russia not having a team and just how weird that is, especially with their size and the sports in which they excel and their familiarity with the sport of lacrosse.
Yeah, certainly Russian women's basketball, very solid at the top of the FIBA rankings. The country of that size, solid in soccer, excellent women's volleyball. There's a great pool, a menu of athletes that is just waiting to be tapped into. In both Summer and Winter Olympics, a foul called against Latvia, but the Latvians have created it in a beautiful country sitting east of the Baltic Sea. Final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Lee, and Lee with a very nice spin as she worked on Yeva Vilka.
I'm starting to love the personality of Yeva Vilka on the field.
Lee lost it. Yeah, Yeva Vilka, she is a tough customer.
You know, it's interesting when Greece was practicing with Latvia the other day, we sort of did Greece on attack for a certain amount of time and then Latvia on attack for a certain amount of time.
There's On Lee off the free position, cutting it to 7-3.
And it was interesting because she was laughing and smiling and asking us questions. A couple of our girls play with the new warp stick that hasn't been approved by the FIL or World Lacrosse to be used in any of its events yet. And it was interesting, and she has a little bit that on the field now, but then she also has this, you know, beast mode factor as a defender that's super key.
Bomberger. 30 seconds to go, third quarter. Switches to her left. Another free position for the Swiss. This one could really change the feeling for the huddle that's about to occur between quarters. Salome Bomberger discovered lacrosse as a high school exchange student at Hopkins High School in Minnesota about a decade ago. Takes the shot and it's blocked. The collapsing defense, and they get it to Nutere. Nutere fouled. Nutere will heave it. Yeva Vilka collects. That's it for the third quarter. Just before Yeva Vilka spotted Druziaka. But the Swiss get a couple late. They've cut it to a 4-goal game. We go to the fourth, the final quarter of this long Saturday in Netanya. fourth quarter begins, and it's 7-3 Latvia. Stephanie Berger. Very early is the shooting space, and Latvia can't believe it. And you can understand this. Some coaches have told us how difficult defending in lacrosse can be. So Berger is being given a bit of a path, however, just outside the 8. Lasda then checks it free. And Bomberger continues.
I think Lasda has gone into full-on beast mode. She's like, give me the win now.
Now she wants it. Mom is in attendance, playing for her older sister. And the reigning New Jersey Tournament of Champions winners. And she's been a very successful high school head coach, living in New Jersey, a state champion in high school, and then a 2-year captain at Villanova, where she played defense. Latvia will settle it. The Latvians yesterday took 4 charges, too, I should point out, Steffi, in a 9-7 loss to the Norwegians. And Gretchen Lasda was first to admit that we did not play well. But 4 charges yesterday, by far the most that has been called on a team.
And that's almost the same amount of charges that's been called in the rest of the event.
Yeah, of all the other teams combined.
Yeah.
Today, a little bit more of an uptick, but in general, it's about half of everything. But 4 charges today. The Latvians, I think clearly from film session, have taken something and progressed.
I completely agree. And you see I think the uptick of the call of charges because defensive positioning has just gained. The footwork has gotten so much better by these defenders, even over just this week. Their focus on the hips, and this is something we spoke about in the Ireland-Germany game with Camilla Hayes from England. The ability and the focus of some of these defenders and why it's...
Well, I'll say it. We spoke very soon. Charge called on Elena Tabora, the first of the night on the offensive end by the Latvians.
And I wish I could be standing next to Gretchen Lasda right now. I did not have the angle on that call, clearly.
Druziaka rides Julia Graf off the Swiss bench, who executes the ride, does her job. Well, the Swiss will gladly take that call. Linda Nutere still in net after Liga Vilka started and played well in the first half. Nutere now the opportunity to close out another victory for the Latvians. Crease roll Andres. And Andres! It appeared that the angle was not going to be suitable. It's 7-4. Anouk Andres with 3 of the 4 tallies.
And I think she scored her second of 3 goals in the exact same fashion that she just scored that one. Hardly an angle, similar type of question mark, and just perfect placement on her shot.
Anouk Andres, and with a left-handed goalie there, she shoots across Nutere to the far corner. Impressive shots. Andres with her team leading 11th to pace Switzerland. And now we'll get movement on the circle by Opolska off the draw.
And this is where Latvia wants to stay mentally tough.
They drop it off. Debbie Shorno, and she could not finish it. Switzerland has played their best in the 4th. That continues. Shorno recut, and Andres found her. 7-5.
And
Timeout Latvia to regroup. Hold the party at the bar. Midway through the fourth quarter, and Switzerland has fought back. They have scored the last 4 in Netanya. (7-5), and the Latvians have been on their heels at another draw control. Stephanie Berger.
Momentum, momentum for the Swiss. What did Coach Duffy say at the end of the third? I'm going to ask her.
It might be late into the night, but the Swiss have looked like a completely different team, similar to the way they looked late in one of their games this week, where they put together a strong fourth quarter against Norway. And we have a collision. Andres and I believe we had a yellow card on Yeva Vilka. So here's a 6-on-5. Still 9 minutes, 12 seconds remaining according to the visible clock here in Netanya. Plenty of time for the Swiss. Andres. And a bouncer, that one came up and got Linda Nutere. Perhaps came up onto the mask, but she makes the save. So now down a player. Can Latvia clear? Urbanchika cannot gather the pass cleanly, and it is Lee. On Lee across, and then Lasda got into the passing lane. Berger the recovery. Berger the sweep across. Switzerland within one late into the night. Stephanie Berger.
Woo!
Timeout Switzerland.
And we still have a lot of time left in this game.
The Swiss, so they get an early goal, still with the player-up situation. We've seen a lot of teams allow the time to pass, but in this case, Julie Duffy's going to elect to use that timeout, seemingly to focus on the draw and to preserve time for this 6-on-5, which should still have 90 seconds left.
I 100% agree, and this is a chance for Swiss to even this game and then keep the momentum going for them in the final stretch of the fourth quarter.
What's changed for Switzerland in your mind? Anouk Andres, 2 goals and an assist during this period.
I think the fight for the draw, I don't want to say it's shifted in Swiss's way, but I think there's more urgency and there's more fight on the draw. And notice they've pushed the envelope in their transition into their attack, forcing Latvia's defense to collapse, and then they expand them out and then hit those seams, and that's how they've gotten a lot of their last few looks.
Hannah Broker will take the draw. That's a certainty for the Swiss. And this time it'll be Druziaka to take it. 6-on-5 for the Swiss. Valuable ground ball. Broker using strength. Broker. What a job well done. However, the pass sailed through. And the Swiss get the benefit of the call. Shorno, and back for Andres. Pass away from her though, and under duress, Anouk Andres will do well to curl. Approaches in this 6-on-5 setting, still with some time left. And Berger could not split dodge. She can here, the bouncer, we're tied! Switzerland has put together a 5-goal run.
I'm sweating. And Berger is having the game that we knew she could have.
7 apiece. Stephanie Berger with the last 2. And the way she moves, one of the most fascinating facts about her, she has torn each ACL in her career. Growing up playing volleyball and only picking up lacrosse in the last 3 years. And her fluid movements shine on the lacrosse field. So 6.5 remaining. Still time left on the yellow card. Or correction rather, note the yellow has expired. So we're all even 6-on-6. Once a team gets possession in the restraining box. So it will be Latvia ball for the first time in a while. Opolska. And then Druziaka. Druziaka taking matters into her own hands. Go harder, go harder. 8-7 for Latvian's tone setter.
Beast mode by Druziaka.
Latvia, scored by number 31, Valeria Duchanka.
She has 2. And the Latvians with a sigh of relief.
5 minutes remaining to the game, 5 minutes.
Urbanchika, as the ball pops up, and she's able to grab it. Final 5 minutes remaining. And by the way, that last yellow assist on Yeva Vilka, I believe that was her second yellow of the night, so she's gone for the remainder. Is not an automatic sit out. And, oh, you know what? Correct me Yes, it is. Yeva, I see, is back on the field. I do see her brace now on the defensive end. So that's a good sign for Latvia to make sure she's there in any role.
Yeah, defensively, she's the backbone of this Latvian defense. And with the power that Swiss has had in the past 5 minutes, you're going to want her on the field.
Moser backs up, an errant pass. Salome Bomberger. A 1-goal game with under 4 minutes to go. The Swiss another big fourth quarter. Berger will bring it down. Stephanie Berger ties the game again! Berger with 3 in the fourth quarter, bringing Switzerland back single-handedly.
And each team is responding so well and stepping up to every single challenge from the other team. Could this potentially, and I can't remember, but do we go into overtime
in group play? I believe we do. We'll have to check with Steve Taylor.
Yes, I believe that there has to be a winner of every game. Just under 3 minutes to go in this fourth quarter.
A foul against Opolska. She's not happy. Inside the circle. So a chance for Bomberger. And now Stephanie Berger here to give Switzerland their first lead of the game. And Bomberger unable to roll back. The Latvians with the check. It'll be a free position. Salome Bomberger. Can the Latvian high schooler Linda Duterre come up big? Bomberger shot. Duterre has it. We're even at 8. There is Yeva Vilka looking to start the clear. And lobbed it across.
And Latvia they have the time. They just haven't had possession of the ball. Hardly at all in this entire fourth quarter. So with 1:40 to go, do they hold for the last shot? Yes, they hold for the last shot.
Druziaka may have other ideas. On Lee again gets that difficult assignment. The throwback. Opportunity, Liapina. Shooting space.
Very good decision by Druziaka to make that feed. And notice when her teammate caught the ball, she automatically attacked the cage to get that shooting space call.
Liapina, does she have the courage? Druziaka.
She does.
This is outside the 8-meter. You think this is a shot? Valeria Druziaka got a good start and missed the cage.
I thought that went in. We're coming up to the 30-second mark.
What a finish. This will be just presumably our second 1-goal game in Netanya. It comes late into the night. Urbanchika with a path and a stop by Moser. Final seconds. Moser heaves it. Numbers are ahead for the Swiss, but it's an overpass. Lasda, we're inside 30 seconds. Feed across. We will continue past midnight. 8-all. Switzerland has forced overtime in Netanya. They score 6 goals in the fourth quarter. And the Latvians could not get the winner. We'll step away. 4 minutes is on the clock. And we'll be back with a terrific finish. Here's our first overtime of the Women's European Lacrosse Championship, and it'll be played starting at 12:03 a.m. local time. Ralph Binarcher with Steffi Samaras. Good morning. Tied at 8. It is a sudden victory situation. One draw control could decide it. Offsides, though, is the call. Someone came across the restraining line for the Latvians. So the Swiss will have the first possession. Ida Belli. We have not seen her on the field in some time. Berger. She's been on the field the whole time in the fourth. Has scored the last 4, or make the last 3 for the Swiss.
This is a really interesting time because Latvia is going to have to defend and come up with the ball. Swiss just need to score and the game is over.
Very simple. There have been some convoluted overtime rules in the past in U.S. college, playing multiple overtime periods that would count as one. That's been done away with. Each coach has a timeout. It is still continuous running clock, except for the last 30 seconds. Berger will let Salome Bonberger collect that ground ball. Eicher. Nutere still in cage for the Latvians. Latvia once led 7-1. They led 7-3 at the end of 3. Bomberger across, and Uteri the save. Bomberger may have been fading away on the look.
And that could be the spark that Latvia needs. Possession in their restraining box is going to be key for Latvia.
Urbanchika, the clear herself. And she's got the foul. And a free position, but from a wide hash. She may have options at the sneak. Urbanchika will settle it. Druziaka. She looks for the winner. She's got it! Valeria Druziaka in overtime for the Latvians. 9-8 in the early morning hours. The stick check clears. Valeria Druziaka. She just has the eye of the tiger.
That speed going to cage, and you know, you could see it in her eyes. There was at one point where she ran really close to us in this midfield, actually defending the Swiss as they got the ball off the draw, and you could see that determination in her eyes.
There is another game beginning in less than 8 hours. Valeria Druziaka made sure the folks here had a chance to get some extra sleep. First possession of overtime. Druziaka, who had left the game with an injury for a period of time, came back in and immediately had an assist. She ends the game with 3 and 1, including the winner. Stephanie Berger's heroic effort of 3 fourth-quarter goals is left with a loss. Anouk Andres, a terrific game for the Swiss. She finished with 3 and 1. For Steffi Samaras, I'm Ralph Pinarchik saying so long. Good night and good morning from the Tanya. We'll speak to you coming up next on Sunday, the final day of pool play for Wales and Israel at 8 a.m. local time.